Who told you? Who told you? Who told you? Who told you? You what? God designed, God designed.
What's going down? I hear. You know what time it is? What's up with my Boerboel? What's going on? I'm so happy to be back. What's up with my Boerboel family? I made it back, y'all. I missed y'all. Exotic Boerboel familia. I'm back. Sorry for the time away. I was on a vacation, but I'm back again. Happy to be here. Extremely happy to be here. I missed y'all. I really did. What's going on, y'all? Let me get my thing together. What's it do, Scale? What's happening? Yes. I'm back. Please believe I was thinking about y'all a long time, the whole time I was gone. And it's a blessing to be back. I had I was on vacation for 5 months. Remember the last thing that I said to y'all was pray for me. And things didn't go exactly as I planned, but it's all a part of a more major plan. And because of that, I'm a better man. So kudos to everybody that's still down and supporting, everybody that stayed down with the Exotic Boerboel familia. I know some of the other competition or so-called competitions thought that it was over and it was a chance for them to step up. But guess what? It was a temporary break and I'm back. So we got a very exciting show. I got to catch up with y'all. I got to catch up with everybody, let y'all know I'm giving y'all the brutal truth as I know it to be. If you want something sugar-coated, this ain't the place. This ain't the show for that. Today, we're going to go into the Boerboel origins. It's really interesting. If you don't know where you are, who you are, where you came from, how you know where you're going. So let's get to it. Let's get back. Boerboels is a very special breed, near and dear to my heart. Love them to death. I feel like they're the best breed. Pancake. I feel like they're the best breed of dogs. That's why I choose them. I love dogs in general, but I feel like the Boerboel is the best dog to have, the most complete dog. So I choose, and I'm passionate to be enthusiastic about the breed. We want to take this back because you know what? It's a lot going on, and it's a lot of deception going on. It's a lot of deceptive practices going on, and leading people to believe that the other way is the right way. Well, this is the way. Dogs are meant to be by your side. They are our companions. And it goes back to over 10,000 years. Dogs came to be domesticated from the wolf, close association with the wolf. This is something that has been since the beginning of time almost. You can find dogs in the tomb of Egyptians. You can find dogs in some of the oldest fossils that was ever discovered. Dogs was there with the people. And what up? Yes, I'm back. So we want to take a close examination of that fact. And it's important to understand how we came to be associated with the dog, and the dog are closely associated with man. They call them man's best friend. And there's a reason why. They evolved as we evolved. And it goes all the way back to the beginning of time. Dogs served alongside of man. It was a dog that separated from the wolf pack. One of the first earlier ancestors was a direct relative of a wolf. And he found that it was easier living. It was ideal living alongside the humans that traveled. So when humans traveled, he would pick up the scraps. Eventually, the humans determined this dog could be an ally. The dog would let them know which way the game was going, which way the predators was headed. They served as a night uh, lookout at night. And eventually, this came to be as humans evolved, we had different fractions of the dog evolve. And so some people sought after different game. You got some people that's seeking out birds, depending on your geographic location. You got birds, you got different style of herding animals that they might be pursuing. They might be pursuing buffalo, they might be pursuing deers, they might be pursuing elk, gazelles. And as humans migrated, so did the dog. So that's a fact. That's going over to 10,000 years ago. So let's fast forward a little bit and let's get closer to colonialization and the ships sailing the seven seas and Roman times and the British Empire, right? So now society has evolved into a civilized society, and you got still tribal nations. So you got two different sections of mankind, civilized society. And some people still use the dogs for hunting and gathering and herding and different purposes. Then you had people that were conquering, like the British. Christopher Columbus sailed over to the United States. They brought dogs with him, the bulldogs, and they used those dogs for like controlling of the bulls, controlling of the livestock. Those dogs also evolved into the bulldogs. The dogs, remember, during this colonial time period, they were traveling different seas. The dogs are also arrived about 100 or 200 years later, 1652, I believe, with about 150 years later, roughly, with Jan van Riebeck and the Dutch. The Dutch were the ones that colonized in South Africa. So we already 150 years past the time of Christopher Columbus, right? So remember, the natives in South Africa, they had the Zulus. They was going up against the Zulus. And there was a very different type of warrior mindset there. They were already indigenous people there. The Zulus were warriors. They had to get some serious ammunition to go up against the Zulu tribes. They said, hey, these guys was killing the settlers, the Boers, the ones that separated from the original Van der Riebeck's, his group. The Boers that separated were kind of off on their own. And those dogs that they had with them had to be very aware. They had to be very protective. This is not like your traditional hunting dog, or these dogs were primarily ex-war dogs, ex-battle dogs, right? And when we're getting into civilized society, that type of dog, a war dog, is not as of a use to modern times, right? So as these dogs evolve, we get into, okay, so South Africa is 150 years behind the USA, right? And they still are practicing what's it called? Apartheid. And apartheid was the way that they separated people from, working people. That was a form of prejudice. That was a form of a racism, to be blunt. And it was practiced within their own country, these indigenous people, right? And that lasted all the way up until 1983. Coincidentally, when the end of apartheid came, you also had the birth of the Boerboel breed. So in England, they had already established a dog organization. Right, apartheid is slavery. They had also, it had, well, they had it in England though, they had established a system for standardized dog breeding, right? And this is the school of thought that we practice today, where people had got together on Sundays, or they got together on weekdays or whatever, and they formed these clubs, and everybody had their different distinct type of dogs, and they kind of showcased them, and they said, well, this is a Dachshund, or this is a Cavalier King's Charles Spaniel, and this is a Coon dog, and this is a Rottweiler, and they had their different breeds. And that was the birth of the organizations and the standardized dog breed, and it was purely based off of the look and the visual appeal of the dogs, right? They also had used this school of thought of the genetic purity. So to remember, during this time, you also had Hitler, you had the Queen of England, and they was trying to create a pure race. And what they did was they isolated certain sections of family, and they only bred or mated within those closed gene pools, right? So this is the school of thought they had used to also breed dogs. This same mindset, this same breeding pattern, or this same breeding schematics. This was designed to produce a pure race. Okay. So the birth of that original organization, fast forward hundreds of years, and we get into standardized purebred dog breeding, so-called purebred dog breeding, and with the goal of producing pure strains of individualized families of dogs, pure breeds of dogs, right? And if you look at the results of that, from the very beginning, they were focused on their own. It was a small circle, an inner group, and that's how we have these different. That's why they had to start to write what was so-called like these laws of these groups, of these individual breeds, right? And they were catering to select groups of people or select families of the dogs, right? And what we're not going to do is we're not going to be fooled by these organizations. Let's bring it up to speed. They birthed the South African Boerboel organization. The original organization is the SABT, and it's designed to control. What they say at this time, we need to supplement our income. We don't have slaves anymore. We got to do something. They already have this system designed, guys. What we can do is we can capitalize on this system, and we just promote this breed, the South African Boerboel breed, as South Africa's own land race. Something very unique, right? And these, as a group, they were really trying to supplement their income. So it's beneficial for their sales, And this market, they essentially created a market for the export. The dogs were a commodity, and they went out, sought 80 dogs that fit into this criteria, this very limited criteria, and that's the birth of the Boerboel breed. However, these dogs had already been established. They had already been serving alongside human beings, and they were crafted to fit into the South African lifestyle because they had remote farms, they had livestock, they had locations. Remember that these tribes were also at war for their land. They were also trying to take back what they believed to be theirs. And the dogs served as defense against the people. So you got these dogs and on the farms that protected against the indigenous people from, that was their primary purpose. It wasn't so much that, they can, it's only so much that a Boerboel or a pack of Boerboels can do against a lion or against uh, a cougar or against a tiger or against a baboon. The primary threat in South Africa was tribes of the indigenous people coming onto the property, taking back their land, taking back what they believed was theirs. So these organizations decide at the post-apartheid, like I said, they're going to birth the breed as an export market. But remember that the South African dollar is not a dominating dollar. You got the euro, you got the American dollar that holds a higher value. And so these groups, they form this breed. They're going to send it overseas. They're going to translate the dollars, which I think 13 times, 13 South African rands for every euro, 16 for every dollar. And this was a way for them to supplement their income. So now they're selling dogs versus for the international market. This was their vision. Original vision was to sell the dogs to the abroad. So how do they control this? How do they control this? That's the birth of the organization, the South African Boerboel organization. This is the standardized governing organization, right? And what they're going to do is they're going to regulate, and they're going to say whose dogs are best, what dogs is what dog is correct dog, what dog is the champion dog, which dog is the ideal that we have for this breed. And it's the same old song. It's nothing new. They're going to make a group for their own benefit, the benefits of their own inner circle. And it's a small circle that the small guys don't fit in. It's designed to promote prejudice, basically. And it's for the South Africans' benefit. So what they do is they have this system, this appraisal system. And the system, what it does is they promote their own breeds. Because if we get our hands on this breed, we start to craft it out to what we believe is proper. How does it fit exactly into our system? And we could take over. There's no need for us to keep importing dogs from South Africa. And so they have to control this. They have to control the flow of the dogs. They have to control the flow of the information. They attack the brain. And they tell you, well, no, those dogs over there, those dogs are not correct. The dogs that you have are basically B quality. And they rate these, they come up with this rating system, and it leads you to believe that those dogs in South Africa, the dogs that from the motherland, are somehow better, are somehow superior, right? So what people tend to do is continue to import dogs from South Africa, and so it keeps their market alive. And it's basically a way for them to control the market and to keep their market thriving. We're not going to be fooled by that, though. He's out of Boerboel Familia. Listen, wake up. We do for ourselves. We are our own people, right? We are the ones that have been out here with the dogs traditionally, and using the dogs and applying the dogs like they were intended to be. We are the ones, the people make the organization. That's what makes these dogs work, right? We're the ones that's actually out here with our dogs, working them, applying them, spending time with them. So who are they to say what is correct, right? And the biggest issue that I have with it is, it's like they want us to feed off the crumbs that fall from their table. And I'm just not that type of guy. Exotic Boerboel Familia, We don't do that. We're going to take the dogs and we're going to let the dogs represent. We're the ones that take our dogs to these organizations, to these appraisals, and this is what makes the system work when we do that. So we're going to be wise. We're not going to fall for the okie doke. You're not going to just trick us with this same old story, with the same old 1-2. So historically, this is how it goes. They come in and say, oh, this dog is really working, it's beautiful, because remember, the dogs thrive on this interaction. They thrive on this stimulation, right? And then what they would like to do is they come in and say, you know what, give me that dog, I'm gonna fit it into my program. And then now they got a healthier dog. The system that they're using historically, let's look at the results. Let's look at how many breeds have been ruined by this current system that's governing the state of purebred dogs. You keep seeing dogs fail time and time again. The Rottweiler is not what it used to be. The German Shepherd is not what it used to be. The English Mastiff doesn't even work. The lifespan is very short. And we are starting to see that South African Boerboel trend in that same direction. We're not going to fall for the okie doke. We're going to keep on getting busy with our dogs like we have been in the past. Pardon me. Right? We're going to be the ones. We are the ones that define what the dog, if it serves the purpose or not. It's not about the way that the dog looks. It's about the way the dogs perform. One of our biggest issues is looking for these systems to do better for us, right? So as if they have the blueprints for us. We're the ones with the dogs. We're active in the application, and they're doing in their roles what they were bred to do. Our dogs are with us. It doesn't matter what they say. Look at the condition of these many purebred dogs, and you can see with your own eyes. The proof is in the pudding. Examine them and their state in the current condition that they are in. Let's just think about it. Many of them have health and temperament issues. Many of their health is in a state of disaster. Verify it for yourself. Don't believe me. The breeding practice is not scientifically compatible. If the glove doesn't fit, then you must acquit. If you know what to do, then you must do what you know. Let's apply science that is tested and proven. Let's continue to be active in our application of these proven principles. And what I mean by that is, let's keep on championing the dogs that work, championing the dogs that fit into our everyday lifestyles. Our dogs deserve us to do that, what is best for them. The first steps in the right direction is we need to change our own mental conditioning. Stop looking at these clubs for them to bring you to the promised land. It's not going to happen. Remember that they're always looking out for the best interest of themselves. The small guys don't fit in. We must change our minds and change our ways. We must take it in our own hands and do for ourselves. Everywhere you look in society, things is upside down, all over the place. Chaos, suffering everywhere with these dogs. I just read in Facebook about a dog that was only 5 years old and passed away already. And it is something that they're thinking that they can test their way out of. The truth is we already have everything that we need. We don't need the organizations. Continue to be working with our dogs. Exotic Boerboel Familia, we take pride in what we do with our dogs on a day-to-day basis. When the other breeders are sleeping, we out there getting busy. Okay. And we're going to continue to do that. We're going to make the sacrifices, not for the sake of making a profit. It's because of what we love to do. This is killing me. If we don't try to strive to do better and continue to work with our dogs, we're going to continue to suffer the consequences. The breed is going to continue to fail. It's going downhill. Exotic Boerboel family, we are going up, and we're going to continue to keep going up. We got the best dogs. We striving. We doing everything. We feeding them the best. We giving them our best. We loving them. We taking care of them. We exercising them. That is something that they cannot be denied. You have to put in the work. They want to tell you that it's about the way that the dog looks. But I'm here to prove to you, and I've seen many breeders bite the dust. I've been in this for 17 years. 17 years, and they told me from the very beginning that I would not make it, that I didn't have what it takes. But they didn't know who they was talking to. And I do my homework, and you're not going to outwork me. You're not going to outwork me. Let me say that for 3 times. I'm going to put in the work. When y'all is sleeping or in your bed scratching, me and the dogs are out getting busy. My dogs don't live in a situation of captivity. I don't believe in the cage system. You see a lot of these dogs having the fertility issues. And I think a lot of that is due to the way that we believe, the way that we feel to keeping the dogs in the United States, the Western mindset and philosophy of keeping dogs in this pet style setup. I believe that that's detrimental to this breed. And that's why you see a lot of breeders come and go. They're not in it for the right reasons. They're in it for the cash flow. You have to love Boerboels in order to breed Boerboels successfully. You're not going to have a great amount of success with these dogs if you're not doing what you're supposed to do with them. They're not commodities. It's not a toy or a truck. It's not an ornament. It's not something that you just have and you play with for 30 minutes a day and then put it back in the cage. That doesn't work. This dog is a very intelligent breed. They have a mindset. They need stimulation. They need cooperation from the owner. They're looking for a task. If you take it back to the beginning of time, that's what the dogs were designed to do. They're designed to be with you. And if you don't have time for the breed, then you don't have a need for the breed. You need to get rid of the dogs because they're not going to work in this captivity type of the way that we didn't believe in keeping the dogs, keeping them in crates. People often look to South Africa for the better dogs because of the conditioning and the look. They got the bigger bones and everything. Well, that's a lot of that has to do. Remember that these dogs are coming off of plantations. Remember that the breed founders of the breed have big farms, right, for the dogs, and they keep the dogs in pasture and they treat it like a livestock, right? So the dogs have plenty of room to run all day long, and this impact with the ground is building up the bones, is making the bones strong. That's where you're getting that thicker bones. That's where you're getting all of that heavy muscle, all of that the playing and the romping around and all of that physical activity. That's what builds this breed up to be who they are. You're not going to get that with your dog in the cage 18 hours a day in the crate. It just doesn't work like that. You sit up in a spot where you can't stretch your legs for 18 hours a day and look at it and then weigh up the results. America and Westerns in general has a high incidence of obesity. And we have to do better. We have to be, and we're not like we was back in the day when we were active in the fields, working the farms, picking cotton, and so forth. And the dogs are designed to serve alongside us in that capacity. This is what the dogs do. They're meant to accompany the farmer on his daily list of chores. It's not the type of dog that's going to be set up in a cage and then look the way those muscles don't come from sitting up in the cage. You're not going to get your body together sitting up at the desk. Our lifestyles in the Western has changed. You hear me? The Western philosophy, the Western lifestyle have changed. We got to get busy. The dogs need to be a part of the family. That's where you see these dogs failing, the stress, because they're not able to get that mental stimulation. They're not able to be active and involved with the family. And because of that, they're starting to suffer. So, exotic Boerboel familia, this is my message to you. We're going to continue to keep doing what we've been doing. I'm back again. Once again, I'm back. Like I never left. I'm better than before. And I'm appreciative of the opportunity to be here. So, we're going to continue to keep putting in the work because the results cannot be denied. If you look at our dogs and you're wondering why that they're different exotic Boerboel familia, you already know why. Because we out there when they sleeping, we sacrificing our Friday nights, and we not gonna stop. This is a lifestyle for us. You understand? This is why our dogs continue to produce beyond for generations after generations when the other dogs have fizzled and they suffer from infertility. Because if you're not fit for breeding, then you're not going to be having no place in our program. That's why we only stick with very specific lines. We're not just going out and putting any two dogs together because of a fad or a trend or what we deem to be popular at this time at any given moment that's subject to change. What we're doing is from the heart. We love our dogs and we're going to continue to put in the work. This is about having the best dog that you could ever have in the history of all dogs. And I'll say that again, that ain't gonna change. I'm gonna keep on saying it over and over again because that's really where I'm coming from with this. We're gonna have the best dogs ever in the history of the game. We're gonna go down exotic Boerboel familia. We're going down in the history and we're gonna make our mark, and they're gonna always be able to go back and say our dogs at this time, generation after generation, can go up against any dogs in the world. I put them up against any dog in the world. We could go out, run, we can get physical, and then come home and lay up with the family. You see all different type of examples of the application of what a dog is supposed to be, what it mean to us, what it mean to me. You feel me? What it mean to me. Our dogs is the proving of the formula. This is the proof of the formula. The outputs of the formula is the actual dogs, and you can see it what it means. And we would do this for free. If it wasn't, it's not about the money. You can't get involved with these dogs and feel like you about to make a bunch of money overnight just because you got some puppies. Exotic Boerboel family, if you don't love dogs, this ain't the dog, this ain't the breed for you. It's not gonna work out for you. I'll say that again, and it ain't gonna change. This is who I am. This is what I do. This is how we get down. And again, so that's my message. I gotta get back into the swing of things, y'all. I had a little break when it was a lot of idle time. I was on vacation. I remember I was asking. I said I've been working every single day for over 700 something days, and then boom, I got me a little vacation. So now I got to get back into the swing of things, get back to working. Because guess what, though? It's in me, though. It's in my blood. It's in my breath. Every breath of my body, I'm dedicating it to this mission of producing the best dogs in the game, the best dogs in the world. It's not something that I came up with overnight. This has been my dream ever since I was a little boy. And don't come with us. You can't come with us if you don't feel the same. You understand? This is something that is got to be in your heart. And that's why we have had success, because we're very passionate about what we're doing. It's not something that we just decided because we needed an extra boost on our income, like these organizations. And then they want you to fight over the crumbs because they have attacked our minds and led us to believe that their system is the way. This is the system has produced these dogs. Well, the system is failing, and the proof is in the results. The proof is in all the other dog breeds that have come before the Boerboels, and we're not going to let the exotic Boerboel familia go that way. The exotic Boerboel familia, we're going to continue to put in the work. I'm back again, and I'm here. The mission has never changed. You understand? We're gonna keep on going hard with our dogs on a day-to-day. It's not something that we do for we're not conditioning our dogs. They stay ready. We're not getting ready for no events. They always ready. Show stopping. And when you come to see them, the coast's gonna be shining. And that's what we do. And this is how we achieve those results. So I'm getting back into the swing of things, y'all. I'm very happy. I missed y'all a lot. I thought about y'all every single day. That was 5 months. 5 months, y'all. 100 almost to these days, 150 days almost, 140 days to be exact. And I missed y'all. I thought about y'all every day. But every day I was trying to get a little bit better, just like the same before I left. But I was exercising my mind more than it was the practice. And those results, and I'm gonna say that again. We're gonna continue to get better than we was yesterday every single day, right? That's a philosophy that I have. And if you look at the results, if you look at over a year, if you just get 1% better, then it's over 1,000% better at the end of 365 days from where you first started. I appreciate y'all, every last one of y'all that stayed down with the family. We got a lot of catching up to do. You can't make up for the time, so we're going double time on the grind. You never get that time back. And that's why we got to make calculated steps with everything that we do. We don't want to waste no time. We're not going to take no days for granted. We got to remember that the mantra is we live in every day to the fullest. It could be you never know when things change in a split second. It only takes a hot second, right? So we're going to give it our all. If you rock with the Boerboel Familia, you know that we treated you like you was the last person that you were on earth. We're very grateful to have you. I'm going to open it up for questions. If y'all want to get on live, the number is 216-244-2088. You can also send your questions in the comments. I see the comments on the side. Scale what they do. Ra, he in the building, Monroe. I really appreciate you, my bro. I'm getting to around to posting up them videos. John, Dog Man, you hear me? We back. Yes, sir. So Daryl, appreciate the comments, everybody. Wifey, yeah, I had a baby when I was down. If anybody want to call in, we'll take calls right now. We're taking calls right now. 216-244-2088. Getting back to the swing of things. But yeah, I know that they had these other replicas came in, and I see several shows done started. We're gonna keep ours real seasoned up and interesting. I'm going over it. Oh yeah, Remy. Yes, sir. Definitely, I can do that. Remy, let me see. I got some flicks of Remy. Matter of fact, she's outside in the back right now. I could. This is not mobile, but yeah, definitely, family. I definitely put more pics of Remy up because that dog that you see in those pictures, she was very young. She's only 3 years old now. But as you know, the dogs, they do quite a bit of changes. And maybe that's what I'll do in the next coming days. And I'll take some updated pictures of Remy. Balto's coming down. He's coming home. So I'm gonna be getting busy with Balto. He's one of the pride and joys of the Boerboel family right now. The young prince. Moosey, what up? Yeah, so like I said, y'all, we not falling for the okie doke, y'all. We're gonna stick to the formula. Taking questions. Anybody want to call? So I'm a little rusty, y'all, but hey, I'm back. I appreciate y'all for joining. I'm gonna get back to my new baby. Appreciate y'all for staying down and rocking with me. Don't fall for the imitations. If there's anything that I can do, y'all know that I'm here for you. I appreciate your time for spending with me. We got new merchandise. That's Remy right there signing off. We got merchandise, leashes, customized leashes, Amish handcrafted. Coming up with a line of apparel, merchandise. And for now, that's it. I can't think of anything for sure. I definitely try. And it's a lot, one of the things that motivate me is the naysayers and the haters. And you're going to have that. And I believe that even solidifies my position. I had some people that say my way is not the way. Excuse me, but that's what works for me. And like I said, you can't deny the results. Remy, we did Remy the Black Teddy. We got quite a few interesting breedings. A lot of dogs don't reach maturity. I'm gonna be posting up Sage, Pinky, some new dogs. We introduced some young dogs that we had, and looking forward to y'all. Wishing y'all much success in the future. Peace and blessings, y'all. And like I said, you got the number if you need me. I'll be here. I ain't going nowhere. Don't forget to put in the work, y'all. The results. You can't get the results without the work. You can't get the results without the reps.
No rush, go on, move dumb. Back and forth, push and shove. Make your peace and love turn to peace and gloves. Now you got a deal run up. No rush, go on, move dumb. Back and forth, push and shove. Make your peace and love turn to peace and now you got a deal run up. Whole gang, whole man, old school, young jam.